My name is Sean Jacobs. I go by the stage name of Cubs. And in 2021, I had a near-death experience and I went over to the other side for 13 minutes. Out of respect for those involved, out of respect for the experience, so as to not implicate anybody, out of forgiveness, love, and a deep understanding of the nature of fate and reality, I'm going to start my story at the end. I was lying on the floor, heart beating faster and louder than I've ever felt. I had a deep sense of panic and overwhelm. My breathing became labored, and this sudden knowing and realization that it was my time to go had filled my consciousness. There I was in the experience that I had been running from my whole life, the dying experience. The moment that I had realized that my physical body was about to perish, my mental body began to cling like never before. My ego. There was a shaky vignette of darkness around the corners of my vision that started to close in more and more until it created this dark tunnel. And out of that dark tunnel emerged a light. And I'm only calling this a light because that's how we would describe it, but it was a vibration, an illumination of consciousness, a feeling of eternal peace and comfort and home, like home of homes. And I was drawn to this piece like a magnet. But the part of me that was having a hard time letting go of my life experience, my ego, my Sean, was clinging, blaming, and resisting. So in this moment of this near-death experience, I am panicking. What have you done? We are dying. You wasted a whole beautiful life. Then the blame kicked in. I blame the people that have done this, but I blame you for being here. I blame the person that introduced you to the person that invited you here for this grave error and mistake leading to our death. And it was this very punishing feeling. And as this light started to draw closer and become brighter, the fear had nowhere else to go. It was backed all the way into a corner. And a voice came through. And this voice that I can only describe as stern, loving, wise, and primordial said, surrender to the experience. And I let my hands go because they were grasping and shaking. And I went into the light. This light became me. And once I was in that light, I merged with non-duality God consciousness. I merged with spirit. And in this spirit, there's only a few things that I can describe to an audience. The color orange, the feeling of a peace like the peace that we're promised as humans one day, and eternal love, like all of the hugs and kisses from all of the grandmothers in all of history. The awareness of this place that I was in, this blissful, heavenly, omnipotent awareness, was that of non-duality, was that of God. And in non-duality, in this space that I found myself, I was all things. I was the Alpha and the Omega, beyond time, beyond form, beyond circumstance. It was the most exalting and powerful love that you can imagine. And I've had a difficult time in sharing this experience with people because I think as humans, we all cling to the version of the afterlife where there is, 72 virgins or like your grandma and Abraham Lincoln playing beer pong. But I believe that there's a place for that. I believe that there's levels of consciousness that we all reside in as humans. But this place that I went to was the place beyond all of those levels, the place of non-duality. And on my way up to that place, I had a life review. And I got to see all of the moments of my life, the good, the bad, the flow, the resistance, the contraction, the expansion. And not only did I get to see my memories of my life, but I got to feel them from the perspective of other people. I got to feel how I touched my listeners. I got to feel how I made people feel when I was on stage, or my mom when I told her I loved her, or the opposite, when I was younger. I got to have a fully immersive experience of what it means to be Sean. And there was some stuff that was very hard to sit with and to look at, followed by this immediate forgiveness of a new memory of something so much simpler and more profound. And I realized in that moment of letting go that our life is just a journey of love, and all of our experiences are just how many steps removed or how far away from love you are. And I realized that the fabric of reality itself, creation itself, time, all of the forces that we identify with are God, and God is love. And when I finally was able to shed my own consciousness and cross over, I became God. I became that love. I became everyone in existence, this singularity consciousness from which we all come from, is just love. So I've had a lot of questions about this nature of non-duality. And when I was over there, for a very brief point in time, I knew everything. I saw everything. And when I came back, didn't remember most of it. But I was given this very simple understanding of how the universe is and how it was created. We as humans can conceive of most levels of reality, but historically, we've only been able to attain most of them. And it goes as far back into prehistory, the pagans and stuff, and they believed in a mother and a father god. And that's duality, polarity. And I realized that as humans, we all come from a mother and a father, and it's only natural for us to believe that they are two separate people and that their love and the connection between the two of them wasn't a separate party, wasn't the actual thing that they were. And so what I discovered was that God created two, so God could experience thyself, so God could love thyself. And from two created polarity, and polarity created opposing forces, which created all of the events that unfolded to the Big Bang, the expansion, contraction, the harmony, disharmony, all at once. And everything was just birthed from there. And beyond all of this, there is just one. And we are that one, and there is no separation between us and that, because that is us. We are that we are, and we are love. I returned to my body after, I couldn't tell you how long I was here, because there wasn't time, because there isn't time. And I was crying and shaking, and I had felt so touched, so loved, so chosen. And I don't mean special chosen, like I'm on a podcast chosen, but like so deeply, deeply chosen by me. And you are chosen by you. And my life took a series of wild turns after this, an entirely new understanding of how everything works, integrating back into Sean, a musician, a soon-to-be father, a friend. And I will say that when I did return into my own life and my own consciousness, I understand why we ascribe power to things outside of ourselves. That I understand why the saints and the mystics in the Old Testament talked about this powerful, scary God, because this force is it's omnipotent, it's massive. And when you're dealing with this and interfacing this from a human standpoint, it's scary, dude. It's super scary. I was very scared, but when you let go of fear, the truth will appear, so simple and clear. I heard it in a song right after, and I was like, yeah, because beyond that fear, which is separation, was unity. And unity is love, and love is creation. And that is the message that, as convoluted and difficult to describe, I know that I'm here, and I know I was in that room, dying, having that experience to come back and talk about. And I wanted to say, for anybody out there watching these videos, they're so fascinating. They're also different and diverse and wonderful and inspiring. We all search for these videos to remember. We think maybe sometimes it's because we have a loved one who's sick and we want to feel better about where they're going, but we're just wanting to remember. And so I have a reading I'd like to share called Diamond Radiance Prayer. I love the divine within me. I love the divine within the divine. I love the divine that is the divine. And I can call upon the divine to help me see that I am unbroken, the whole, not a piece. I merge with the divine and I wake from the dream, awashed in the river of love that is me. Thank you for listening. And I love you, I see you, and I am you.